try to put us to down.
This is Boomer Nation on Talk Radio 860 WGUL. Here's your host, Terry Benincasa.
If you're just tuning in, this is Boomer Nation, information and inspiration to live, work, and play at your Boomer best. And we're about to hear from Steve Gavatorta, our business communication expert in the Working Smarter segment with his feature, Straight Talk. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? You've been enlightening us over the past weeks on the importance of learning others' behavioral styles as a key to becoming a master communicator. Last week, you gave us the lowdown on the influencer style.
Correct.
The week before, the dominant style. This week, it's the steadiness style, which sounds kind of ideal.
Well, there's no ideal style. I want to state that.
Steadiness just sounds so steady.
I'm a steady person. I'm the S style, so now I'll live with that. With what you said, that's a good thing.
All right, so go for it. The steadiness style.
Okay, as you remember, we've been going over behavioral descriptors, behavioral indicators, and how that style deals with change, risk-taking, and conflict. Right. So first, the behavioral descriptors to describe a steady style is they're relaxed, they're steady, they're reserved, reliable, and very methodical. Now, with regard to behavioral indicators, is the style introverted or extroverted? High S's or S styles are introverted.
That's what I would think, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the twist here, which you'll find interesting. With regard to people-oriented or task-oriented, they are more people-oriented. Now, that sounds counterintuitive that they are introverted yet people-oriented. What that means is they'd rather focus on people than work on tasks. But the introverted side comes from how they rejuice in stressful environments. I like rejuicing alone. Under stressful situations, I like going for a jog, reading a book, being by myself.
Do you go into your man cave?
Not a man cave. My S cave is what I say. Steve Steadiness. But that's how they rejuice. So that explains the introverted side. So does that kind of make sense? The people?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Okay. Just don't give them something to write. They won't be reliable with that. Give them something to speak about, and they'll be very reliable.
Sure. And keep in mind, the influencing styles can be very gregarious and talkative, outgoing. S's like people, but they're, again, more in a reserved methodology.
Now you got me.
Methodical. There we go. We got it.
Methodical. Give us an example of someone who we know, maybe a celebrity who's a steady.
Sure. I'll give you a real good one. Former Bucks coach Tony Dungy. Think about that. Very steady, very reliable, methodical, yet he's people-oriented.
Yes,
very good people personality.
Yes, he is.
Another one might be, this might be the wrong time to say this since it's the Rays or Yankees going on, but I always speak about Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is another good example of an S style.
Jeter, the cheater.
I'm not going to say anything about that, but he's another good example as well, too.
Hopefully he won't do that again.
Right.
Yes, I'd always liked him up until that point, and I will forgive and hopefully forget, but that was not nice.
Yeah. Then lastly, how they deal change, risk, and conflict. High S or S styles don't like change. They need time to prepare. They will, they'll accept change if you give them that time and let them move at their pace. Regarding risk taking, they're low risk takers.
I would think.
And conflict response is, they'll tolerate conflict, which is not necessarily a good thing. Oh, and going back, the indirectness versus directness, they are indirect as well, too, because they're people-orientated and don't often like hurting feelings and things of that nature.
Right.
So,
yeah, so they're a little like the influencer.
Sure. Just a little bit calmed down, so to speak. Again, consider the influencer is more extroverted. The steady person is more introverted. So that's the real differences between those two. But
okay.
They're great with people.
What's the final style coming up next week?
The final one is the compliant style.
The compliant style. I kind of would like that person. Just do as I say. Certainly not as I do.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay. If you want to ask Steve a question, he'll answer either off or on the air. You can call it into our listener line, 877-999-1172, or email it to him at Steve, STEVE, @boomerradioshow.com. Talk to you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Attention business owners and managers. If you don't have a sales force that consistently exceeds quota or consistent growth in yearly profits, then you're quickly losing your competitive edge, and the Steve Gavatorta Group can change that. The Steve Gavatorta Group is a premier business communications consulting company with a client list that includes Bayer and New York Life. The Steve Gavatorta Group is known as the profitability catalyst. To find out what they can do for your company, call 813-908-1343 or go to Gavatorta.com.